Hey friends,
Hello.
it is Sunday, April 12th. Well, it's about 7:35.
Yeah.
So we still have light, which is good. My hair looks weird. Looks like I got a cut, but I didn't. Just washed and go.
Yeah. Same here.
So you probably wonder why are we here on a Sunday early. It's because Catfish was on.
To our surprise, we're like, okay.
Excuse
Usually
me.
it comes on Wednesdays, but we're like, okay.
Yeah, it usually comes on Wednesdays, and we happen to come in, and Camille, for 22001, was taping Catfish for us.
Yeah. Oh, this episode was bonkers.
You know, we haven't seen a really good one in a while. Last week was a pretty flat line to me.
Yeah.
But it was back from season 1. Now we're back in season 4.
Yep.
And I don't know what episode it is. I never do, but you'll find out.
Yeah.
This is about Whitney and Bree.
Yeah.
Nice enough ladies. Whitney is the person who made who they contacted, Max and Neve, talked to her, Skype with her, and after they read her letter about her and this female who she said was a dancer, and they had been talking on the phone and texting, but they never Skyped or anything because they were saying that their excuse was that the Wi-Fi wasn't working, which right away rang my bells because I said, the Wi-Fi is not working, then how are you texting each other? Because they had tons and tons of texts they showed us because the Wi-Fi was working fine for that. And then supposedly Whitney had asked Bree to, friend her or whatever on Facebook. And she kept giving her excuses. Okay, I will tonight, later, soon. But she never did that either. So supposedly Whitney only had a couple pictures of Bree.
Mm-hmm.
And she wanted to know who she was or if this is real.
Right.
The thought was that if they were a match and if she was who she was, that they would be able to go forward on their plans to have Whitney move from New York to California with Bree. The problem was for Whitney is she worked in a fast food restaurant and she was the sole breadwinner. She had a couple of brothers and her mom, and so she was the only person working. So it was trying to get that money up just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, so she let them know that and then how she wanted to come see her and she just didn't have the funds at the moment to fly out there to go see Bree. So Neve and Max go ahead and do their searching on the pictures and stuff like that. And the first pictures they tried, nothing. Second one, they found a couple pages. They found a Twitter page and a Facebook page.
For the girl that was supposed to be Bree was actually a girl named Cash with the K. So they decided to call this Cash and see, did she know Whitney or did she know Bree or anything? So they called her and they called the Los Angeles number and it was her. She answered. And they asked her, did she know somebody named Whitney? And she said, no, I don't know her. Well, do you know Bree? She's like, oh, yeah, Brunel. I know Brunel. We went to school together, whatever. And she was saying, they asked her, do you know what's her Facebook? Or does she have a Facebook?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah, Luscious B. And the funny thing is that Whitney had told us that her Bree had a tattoo of Luscious on her thigh.
Yeah, and they had asked her at first, before they asked her about the, did you know who Brunel was, they asked her, did you know that your pictures are being used on another site? And at first she said, no, I know nothing about it. But then when she had said, they asked her about Bree, she's like, oh yeah, Bree is using my pictures for some dating site. And she wanted to meet a couple people, so I let her
Which
use my
sounded
picture.
weird to me because this Cash, she was not upset that Bree had taken her picture and used it to catfish other people, to meet other people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want no one to have, Bree didn't want anybody to have her picture, but it was okay to have Cash picture.
Right.
I didn't get that.
Nah, I'd be reluctant myself. My friends would ask me that. Like, I don't want to get caught up in them.
Right. So they thank Cash for all the help that she gave, and they decide, let's go back and let's look on Whitney's page on her IMs or her DMs, and just see what's in there, what's going on. And Max was not really with it. He was like, I don't know if we should snoop or we're snooping. Right. And he was like, no, we're just going through mail just to see, anything that we can see. Right. Because they were kind of at a brick wall is really what it was. Whereas Cash didn't know Whitney, but Cash knew Bree, but she wasn't like a bestie of hers or whatever. She was like, oh yeah, Bree. Right. We went out last night or right. Like and that. They had not tried to, at this point, get in touch with Bree. So they go into Whitney, the other girl's side, and starts looking at her mail. And lo and behold, there is 55 pages of conversation between Bree and Whitney up until like the day before. Right. Up and including list Skype, list Uvu. Yeah. So now the guys are like, what? These heifers know each other. Right. They have catfished the catfishers. And they're
furious at this point.
Right. Because come to find out, these two chicks knew each other all along. Right. And then they said, oh my God, Cash is Bree. Right. And so they find out, they discover that these chicks knew each other all along. So they go over to Whitney's house. They're still in Brooklyn. Right. They go to Whitney's house and they're gonna play it off for her, like not gonna let her know that they know what's going on. Right. They want to see how she's gonna react. So they come over and they talk about, we found out a lot and we went through your mails and we ended up with more questions than answers, and maybe you can ask some. And then they got out the computer and boom, they brought up all those IMs between the two. So Whitney at first is at a loss of words. Prior to them revealing, they say about the questions they have and everything. Then she's got the nerve to sit up there, to their face, and talk about, I don't want nobody that's a liar. Right. And if people lie to you, you can't believe anything they say from that point on. Well, she should have just shut up.
Really? She was just going on and on about lying. And they caught her dead wrong. She was blank. That blank stare if you catch somebody if they lie. No words to say. We're like, we caught you.
Right. And that's how they was. We caught you. You was trying to catfish the catfishers. And you two knew each other up to and including Skyping with each other as well. Right. So Whitney is really speechless. Right. I don't even think at that point she really apologizes. No. And it wasn't like she was arrogant about it. It was just they was caught. Yeah. So then they go back. They tell her, you know what we're going to do? We don't know. We don't know what we're going to do. Right. We're going to go back to the hotel, probably get in touch with Bree and see what is going on. Right. Because you catfished us and now you want us to pay for a trip only so that you could see each other. Right. So they go back and they contact Bree, and Bree comes clean. She said, yep, she talked to Whitney the night before. She was highly apologetic and said that they just did not have the money to see each other. So she went online and she put in the application and everything and thought that it was going to work. Not saying that Whitney didn't have nothing to do with it. She did, but Bree was kind of the mastermind of it. Right. And she gave many seemingly sincere apologies. But the guys weren't done. They decided, we do not know what we're going to do from here because we really don't even have a show now. Because the show is all about revealing people to people who don't know each other. Right. And seeing what's going to happen. So they contact MTV, and MTV acknowledges that they've been catfished and whatever. But ultimately, the executive producer decides to leave it to Max and Neve. What you guys do, what you think is best to do in the end, because we can still make this a show. Yeah. So they're like, well, Neve, you tell us after he hung up the phone, like, okay, you were supposed to give me the answer to go or not go. But they said, okay, let's go back and let's talk to Whitney and let's hash this out real quick. So they go and do so, and they speak to her, and she gives a sincere apology. She's like, you know what? I lied to y'all. I felt terrible last night. I really want to apologize for doing that. That was out of order. But She said they really loved each other. They really want to be together. They want to see each other. That it was just so hard trying to carry on their relationship, and they just thought that this would be a way that they would get a chance to go. And then, of course, we know with the guys, they was kind of feeling soft after they had talked with Bree.
Yeah.
And then after the executive producer didn't tell them no. I think that's what they wanted to hear.
Right, they wanted to know because they really didn't want to do that and like be like, okay, I'm condoning your
lying, right? Because this could set the tone for everybody else,
right?
So
I thought about that myself.
Yeah, and so I think they really wanted to know, but they did get the go ahead. And so ultimately, after they went back over to Whitney's house, they decided, okay, we'll take you.
Yep. So they let her go, and she's like happy and excited. She's ready.
Grinning from ear to ear.
She was so happy. She said her cheeks was hurting from smiling and stuff. So they go out there. They're in L.A. What you said? What beach were they?
Marina Del Rey.
Yeah, they're down there, and you can see.
I lived in California for a long time.
Yeah, you can see at the top of the hill. You saw Bree sitting up there
with her luscious tattoo.
She was sitting up there on the bench, and they ran to each other. It was like a whole field of flower.
Yeah, girl, they just needed some music. You know,
that's it. They ran.
Like in a movie,
screaming and crying and
hugging, kissing, loving, and you could see that they really were in love.
Yep.
So now the show went from being this slick, dirty, low-down mess to finally seeing a couple that were who they said they were. Their work, their job, or they looked everything. Neither one of them was surprised or disappointed, and they were truly in love. It actually touched my heart. I forgot all about the lies and stuff because seeing them hugging and kissing and everything,
it was so sweet.
Holding hands like two school girls or whatever. It just was so precious and so sweet and so loving. It really was. And they left the girls to, have the day together to chill or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then they came back after 2 months. And after 2 months, it turned out that Whitney was still in Brooklyn, but she had gotten a better job, so her finances was better. So she was going to be able to take another trip out there, which she was going to. And Bree was actually coming Whitney's way.
Yep.
She got a job as not stripping no more, but because she had been a stripper, but not stripping. I don't know if completely not stripping, but mostly not stripping. And she's working as an assistant to a hairdresser. Yep. By the way, you could tell she worked in the shop because her hair was right. It was really right. It was like mine. It was her natural hair. It was really full. It was natural. It was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was.
She was cute
her purple
anyways.
lipstick was cute too.
She was very cute anyways.
Yeah.
And they ended up Skyping three-way, and they were still in love as ever. Max wanted to ask them, did they get it on that day?
Yeah, and he was like, don't talk about this on TV.
Max like, y'all deserve that. Y'all deserve to tell us that, So they was joking, laughing about that. But ultimately, they were still together after that time. It's only been a couple of months, but they had their travel plans together and stuff like that. Now, we don't know if Whitney's going out there to live. We know that Bree is coming to New York, and Whitney's excited for her family to finally meet her and everything. And then Bree is going to go back and see her. We don't know if this is stay or what.
Right.
I don't know about that simply because Whitney is the main breadwinner of her mom and her brothers and stuff like that. So it would be hard for her to give up everything to chase this love story. But hopefully they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they figured out a way to come get each other. I'm pretty sure they'll find a way to live.
You sure will. Put both of them together.
Really?
But don't have Whitney tell the story because
you're gonna get caught.
She's not that good of a storyteller, to be honest about it. But it was good. It was good because it caught me up in the actual love and the romance of the two. And the fact that young love is willing to do whatever it is to be together, see each other, and whatnot. It wasn't a fake, phony thing of anybody at all. It was truly who these people were. And they ended up, when truth came to light, they were much better and more likable and everything else than what they started out to. They was kind of flat and dull at first.
Right, and it was a a real thing. It wasn't actually a real catfish. It was a for real thing that I'm actually speaking to this person. I've seen you. We Skyped.
So it was a win-win for everybody because they got to meet up with each other. But also Catfish, I think Max and Neve have a bit of a romanticness inside them that ultimately they like to see them all hook up and get together. But that doesn't happen. Obviously, we know that. But I think that they like that. And it was a real win for the show. Really spurred me up my interest. But that was Catfish. And I was so happily surprised.
Really?
Come on. I'm going to watch a little bit of the MTV Awards. I'm not too much feeling that because, once again, Kevin Hart is front and center on everything. Right. And I am so tired of him. And I might be the only person in America, but he is not funny to me. I've been knowing funny for a long time. I'm going to be 55 in June, and I know what's funny and I know what's not. And that brother is not funny.
I totally agree with you. I'm not a big Kevin Hart fan. He does too much extra.
And acting real silly and ignorant is not an excuse for acting funny.
No.
So, anyways.
And can we put this out here real quick? For any of y'all that heard that Martin Lawrence was dead, he's not
dead. He is alive. We heard that. Got that off the internet this morning. Whole family was sitting up here.
We lost it.
Shocked. Everybody. Nieces, our sister-in-law, everybody. We was all shocked. And they had a coroner's bag and everything.
Yeah, we swore they was dragging him out of the hotel they said he was in.
And it was all a hoax. So Martin Lawrence is not dead.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, because we almost lost it.
I'm telling you, tears are rising, girl. Anyways, peace out, folks.
See ya.
Bye.